Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the continuation of the series between kkDash and Shinigami. kkDash is up one game, and we're going to start game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, with me is Rannasha, and in the mid-right position we see the red Terran kkDash spawning on Antigua Shipyard.
His opponent, Shinigami, the blue Zerg, spawning in the 11 o'clock position on this map, being down one game in the series, trying to get back.
Exciting games. Maybe we'll see some burrowed baneling play or some tactical moves, because I have an exciting announcement that's going to be official in a little bit, but I guess I can lift up the tip of the Slayer? Like
Fail.
The veal? Yeah. The thing is, we're going to have... you know that there's an award for biggest comeback. If you win the biggest comeback award, you get a GOM TV season ticket. But you can also now... there's going to be an award for tactical brilliance, so the Tactical Brilliance Award, and the prize you get is pretty special. What you get is a mouse mat from SteelSeries, which was signed by TLO himself, the Tactical Brilliance guy.
Cool.
How cool is that, right?
So do play your best with all kinds of weird special tactics. Of course, special tactics is not the TLO thing, but White is a similar player that is known for his creative styles. And
exactly.
Of course, from a spectator point of view, these are the most fun to watch.
Yep, yeah, just, the excitement when you see a big ball of Marines walking towards some burrowed banelings, and just seeing them go off, all the Marines evaporating, especially when the other player is just looking away for a second, and then he looks back and all his Marines are just gone, and he's like, what happened? Oh, that's awesome.
Of course, there's also a sign of creative play if you spell out the name of this tournament with supply depots, but do make sure you do it correctly if you do that.
Exactly, you just spell it NSSL, not, what was it, NLLS?
If you don't know what we're talking about, we are referring to a game between...
Fantax and Shotgun Bunny.
Yes, that's the one. Game 2, go check it out. It is quite interesting and funny for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah, if you're ever wondering what the full arsenal of Terran units looks like, that will be a game to watch.
We didn't see seeker missiles from Raven, so it's not the full arsenal just yet.
Yeah, all right, but yeah, that's true. But we got to see some exotic units that usually don't get to see the light of day in a game. All right. An Overlord from Shinigami now moving into kkDash's base. He might just lose it to a Marine. The Marine just on the low ground. Now the Overlord escaping to the high ground where the Marine used to be. But
now he's moving back to the low ground again. So he has two Marines. Will he actually corner it? Yeah, he's sending one to the high ground, one to the low ground, and this Overlord will go down.
That's actually that you see the Korean replays now. Zerg players are really cautious about sending out their Overlord because the Terrans are really hunting for it. They make 1 or 2 Marines and hunt that Overlord because they know it's going to come, and picking it off is really a major thing. I mean, having to spend 100 minerals extra on an Overlord in the early stage of the game, that can really influence your build as a Zerg player. So be careful, send them by the edges, find some high ground where you can hide your Overlord. We see that when there's a new map coming out, we see lots of players looking for those little spots where they can put an Overlord without the Terrans spotting it. But then again, you see the Terrans lifting their buildings, getting high ground vision, and still using Marines to pick off those Overlords. Yeah,
so if you can put them in open space, which is readily available on this map, that's also quite nice, and you can just keep it near the enemy base, and at an opportune moment, when you're ready for it, you can decide to sacrifice it by sending it in and trying to see as much as you can see. For example, what you can see right now from kkDash is that he's going for Reactor Hellion expansion. The factory is just landing, producing the first Hellions as the command center is about halfway done.
And we're seeing a tech lab for the barracks. What do you think he's going to use that for?
Probably it'll be given back to the factory and it'll be used to make tanks. That's the most common way to do it. What also can be done, you see that more from the Korean players, what actually is going on now is that he's going for stim first and only will add tanks later.
Okay.
And that's actually what's happening now. So one little nice thing about this map, well, depends on if you're Terran. If you're Terran, it's a nice thing about this map. If you're Zerg, it's not so nice, especially with the spawn positions. Is if you look at the main base for the Zerg, then there is this little area behind the smoke, and then there's the ledge beneath that. If you place tanks on there, and then load up a medevac or 2 with Marines, and put them on the high ground, and the tanks will be able to support the Marines from this little ledge without being attackable by Zerglings or Banelings, because they're on a different level. And then you can just assault the main with your Marines, and as soon as the Zerg sends his units to kill your Marines, you just lift them up into the medevacs again, and then your tanks will get a couple of free shots as the Zerg units don't have anything to claw at anymore. It's a very, very nasty tactic that I personally love to use against Zergs on this map, especially in these positions.
I wonder if we're going to see it. It might just win someone the Tactical Brilliance Award and the TLO mouse mat.
For now, though, we see that the Hellions are just scouting around the area. That's exactly what they're meant for. They're not. It's very tempting to kill drones with Hellions because they do it so well, but their main purpose is to deny creep spreads and deny scouting, and get some scouting done yourself. So they're just moving around. They're now at the third, just making sure that there's no very early third going down.
Yep, Shinigami is actually working, he's getting roaches and he's working on roach upgrades as well. So I don't think there's going to be a third base anytime soon. Rather, I think he's going to focus on roach production.
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the work account, it's only at 40. So that's not really enough to saturate 2 bases, and he can just make more drones before having to get his third base up.
There's an epileptic probe, a drone from Shinigami in the natural of kkDash, spotting the first gas at the natural going down. So Shinigami knows now that kkDash is not going for some mineral-only marine push, but well, that's just standard. So basically, he doesn't get too much information. But it's fun to see that there's still this drone alive.
Yeah, I wonder why kkDash doesn't hunt it down. Maybe he hasn't realized it's there, but. It's not really doing that much harm anyway. It also cannot retreat anymore because there's a wall-in going down at the front of the natural ramp.
Yep. Yeah, there's a little flashing blue dot at the kkDash's minimap, but he's not seeing it, so maybe he's not paying as close attention to the minimap as he should be.
2 evolution chambers coming up for Shinigami, so he's going to get some double upgrades for his roaches. Upgrades already started for kkDash, getting the +1 infantry weapons. So for now, kkDash is ahead on the upgrades, but as soon as both evolution chambers start to work, Shinigami should be able to catch up. First one starting, the missile attacks upgrades, no carapace upgrades coming up just yet.
All right, he didn't go for a tunneling claws yet. I'd like to see some burrowed roach play. I haven't seen that in a while. It can really catch your Terran opponent off guard, especially if you've got no missile turrets at the front, which is the case at the moment.
Well, currently he cannot really burrow through anything because all the buildings are lifted. As soon as the supply depot is lowered, you can actually burrow through it.
Yeah, that's odd, right?
Yeah. If it's under the ground, you can burrow through it. If it's above the ground, you cannot burrow underneath it. This is StarCraft logic.
Yep. Yeah, like the workers being able to move through other units if they want to mine, like things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's necessary, of course, but it's those little twerks that you get to exploit if you start to know the game really good.
Definitely. Now the third base is going up for Shinigami. He's gotten to a drone count where the drone's starting to get in each other's way slightly, so it's getting to a point where it's more beneficial to have this third base up. And in addition, this will produce additional larvae that he can turn into units as he so pleases.
Yeah, we see kkDash's economy is also booming. He's on par with the Zerg in terms of harvesters, and he's also got the mules, so his income is significantly higher at the moment. He is mining less gas, but he is going for his third command center already, so he's doing his job, and on the back of it he tries to get another expansion. But do you think he's safe enough against the pretty big swell of roaches that has started? He has some tanks, but he does not have siege mode. Yeah, oh, actually he does. So yeah, he should seize them up. And the drop is now starting. The spawning pool might actually go down.
Yeah, I'm not seeing a very fast response from Shinigami. He did pull his drones, but only now are the roaches coming back, and they had to come back all the way from the watchtower, and that's quite a distance.
Yeah, this is. Oh, if you look at the supply, this is terrible. He's losing his roach warren too. This sets him back so much, and he's now pulling back all of his roaches. The first batch arriving now, but the Marines are just going to hop in the medevacs and move away. This has been an awesome drop for kkDash. This might actually have just won the game.
Yeah, Shinigami won't be able to produce any attacking units until he gets the spawning pool back and then his roach warren if he wants to stick with the roaches, which is what he is upgrading for. So instead he just makes 15 drones, but because hey, you have the larva, so why not?
Does he have plenty of queens though? He only has 2 queens for his 3 hatcheries, and he's not making one at his 3rd now. So you might want to work on that. And kkDash can take the safest 3rd expansion that he wanted to have.
Yeah, he's definitely safe with it now. Yeah, I would like to see Shinigami maybe make a macro hatchery, or at least an additional queen, because his minerals are quite high. Same for kkDash, by the way. So if he just has a ton of larvae, he could turn them into like 35 roaches in one go. I think he has the gas for 35, minerals for more, and that would be a very big boost to his army. But he simply does not have the larva for it at the moment.
Yep, yeah, still not making an extra queen. So he's going to be short for larva. Or actually, he does have 3 queens now. No, he still has 2. And actually, one of them was on full energy and not injecting larva as well. So he's now working on larva. He's now up to 16 larva, but still not up.
There's a push coming for kkDash, and he's actually sieging in the area that I mentioned earlier. He's loading up, so he's not directly using the ledge, but this is also quite a tricky position. It's all the units have to go around. Yeah, that's a massive drop.
Oh, there's so much damage.
Roaches are just getting owned as everything unloads, and now he has a massive army already on in the base of Shinigami, and then the tanks supporting on the low grounds.
Yeah, kkDash can just pull back to his tanks, but he doesn't even have to. He can just
he doesn't need to. He can just roll it over. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is it. How can Shinigami come back? He's got 24 roaches in production though. That's quite a lot. If you can catch
but they'll come out of 3 different hatcheries, and the ones that spawn in the main will immediately get taken out.
Yep.
As the army for kkDash is just on top of it.
Yeah, you're right. And he's enforcing his tanks on the low ground with some marines, so they're not going to fall to a surprise roach flank. Now there's 24 roaches coming in, barreling down on the marines, and
with drones. But the drones going down so quickly. Good surround for the roaches. They get nice position. But kkDash just falls back to his tank line, roaches back off wisely because they know the tanks are there.
Alright, so he has a significant amount of roaches at the moment, but if you look at the production tab, there's nothing going on for the Zerg. Well, the Terran is working on upgrades, units, and tanks and SCVs, so it's going to be a real uphill battle for Shinigami in the rest of this game.
Yeah, kkDash now also setting up shop in the front of Shinigami's base, just shelling at the spine crawlers, forcing them to uproot and retreat. And he'll slowly be able to push his army back and force the roaches to engage, because at some point he cannot pull back any further.
Yep, and he can just send a small squad of marines up to the 3rd base and attack it, and if Shinigami wants to defend it, he'll have to come down to the low ground where the tanks will be able to shell him. So he's not in a good position. There they go, the roaches attacking into the tanks. Tanks firing off some shots, but is it I think the roaches are just going to waltz through this.
Yeah, actually going to clean this up. The problem for kkDash now is that his army has been spread out a bit. He has a small group in the main. He had 1 tank still in the low ground there, and there's more groups of units being everywhere. So Shinigami made good use of that by cleaning up some of it. Now he got deterred by 1 tank, 2 marauders, and 4 marines. That may not have been necessary. I think he could have pushed that back. I think kkDash seems to be regrouping his army. He's now making sure that everything is grouped up at this central area.
And he's sending out a marine to check the rest of the map to see if there's any hidden expansions from the Zerg. He knows that if the Zerg doesn't have any hidden expansion, he can keep him contained, that he's in a very good spot. But the number of roaches is really starting to be a bit scary. There's maybe a bit too many medevacs at the moment, because lots of kkDash supply is in medevacs.
Oh, and he's engaging, but he's pulling back. He's being a bit indecisive. I think he could have actually crushed it, because one of the tanks was unsieged. It was also very far apart from the rest of the army, and there were not that many bio units there, but he decided to pull back and wait for more roaches. He is now, Shinigami is expanding to his main, so getting his main up and running once more.
Terran could just start working on the destructible rocks that guard the 3rd from Shinigami, and then just have another attack path to walk up to. And some roaches walk in, but they get tank shelled, and a bit of indecisiveness again from Shinigami.
Doesn't actually lose a roach, so that's nice, but he should research the burrow upgrade, because when the roaches are burrowed, they regenerate health much more rapidly. And if you can just get all these roaches to full health, it makes his fighting force so much more effective. Now we see a big group of marines and marauders moving into the 3rd, supply blocking Shinigami as they take out an Overlord, and they will take out the third very quickly.
Yep. You
And
can just run in and
pulling back
snipe some
before
units. And the roaches try and get the tanks.
Oh, that's a nice timing to get the tanks. They will get one tank.
Two
will
tanks.
They get more? They're losing a lot of roaches there. Was a bit indecisive with his movements. I don't think he's going to be able to get rid of this Terran army.
Nope.
No.
That's it. The Terran cleans it up, and he's just lost his third and all of his roaches. He's got 11 more in production, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
It was a very nice idea to snipe the tanks when the army was out, but he moved a little bit back and forth with his roaches. I think that cost him a bit of DPS. Could have taken those tanks down more quickly if he hadn't done that.
It's now max supply versus 69 supply, with just 55. 7 roaches on the way, but yeah, again, the upgrades from Terran are just getting out of control. It's 2-2 already. There's one attack upgrade on the tanks as well. This is really an unattainable? No, an unbearable.
Unwinnable. Unwinnable position.
Unwinnable position.
Easy word, and it works.
Yes.
Yeah, if you see all the production facilities for kkDash, they're just rallied into the army.
Oh.
It's just
we see
going
a little bit of
race.
oversaturation on kkDash's third.
Yeah, I don't think you really need that many SCVs. He has, let's see, 5 lines and 3, so that's 43 SCVs. And even though he has so many on the minerals, he only put 1 SCV in that refinery.
That's the same, and he doesn't have the other gas. But I guess he's grown complacent, thinking, well, I can win anyway. I hope he's not going to turn this into a 50-minute troll game of building barracks all over the map. He might just lose. Yeah, he does lose his 1 tank, but that's basically it. That's it.
Yeah, but so many Marines and Marauders, and the GG is called. kkDash takes the series 2-0. Means he's up 2-0 in series now in his group. Shinigami losing his first series. He won the previous one, so he's 1-1. So both players still have very good prospects for moving on. Of course, kkDash somewhat better after winning this series.
Yep, yeah, he's looking good. And thanks to Shinigami as well for the exciting games. There were some action-packed games, lots of fighting back and forth, lots of defending by Shinigami mainly. Yeah,
there were some nice ideas, but from Shinigami on his defense, but unfortunately there was a little bit of hesitation in the engagement a couple times. I think if he would have been more decisive in pushing through, he could have broken the attack at a couple times during this game, and then maybe gotten a little bit more control of the game.
Yep, no tactical brilliance award for him just yet. He's going to have to work on his tactics.
Yes.
Alright, with that, this is the end of the series, and I think we're going to call it a night. Thank you all for watching. And make sure to check out our sponsors, and check out Rannasha's YouTube channel. What's your channel again?
It's very easy. It's youtube.com/Rannasha. Alternatively, you can just go to the NSSL website, which is nssl.nl, and check out all the casts there, because most of the stuff I've done on my YouTube channel is actually NSSL stuff. So it's just as easy to find it via the website of the Nijmegen Student StarCraft League.
Yep, I've got it all lined up, sorted per group and game, so you can find all the games there. I've also made sure that every game has 3 links to game 1, 2, and 3, so you don't get spoiled if you want to watch it one game at a time. You don't know the result right away. Okay, again, thank you, Rannasha, and we'll probably see each other in the near future.
Yes, that will be fun. Thanks for the together casting. It's been fun to do the casting with actually a co-caster for once, instead of doing it on my own all the time.
Alright, it's been great, you guys. Stay tuned.